In the Bazaar, there are currently 6 heroes that are confirmed, 3 that are already in-game and 3 more that we know are coming. But there will be more heroes after those initial 6, and RateNet has stated that we have already seen the 7th hero. So who could it be? Well, we think we might know. So let's dive under the surface. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the mysterious 7th hero that is in the Bazaar. So right now we know of 6 heroes that will for sure 100% be in the game that are very far along in development, 3 of which are in the game right now and you've probably played. 3 more will be coming after the full launch, starting with Mac. But there's a 7th hero that RateNet has told us that we've seen at some point in the past, and that's all we know. So now we're speculating about who that 7th hero is, and should we just say it's very likely this centaur druid character that you're seeing on your screen right now.
Yeah.
You can tell from behind him, there's some item art that very clearly matches his vibe and aesthetic. And we also have this other picture of a sort of bird, finch, tiny little bird that also matches his aesthetic to like a T. So we sort of assume this is definitely a future hero. So
Right. And like the background is the same, but I think those were pictures from the same video. But like, to be fair, this is a really old piece of info. Like, we have engaged ourselves in speculations even before the game came out. So this is not like something new that has been revealed. It's more like we have pieced together some clues that were left behind by Tempo and Reynard. But like, on one hand, yes, the centaur is a prime candidate for a hero because like his art is fairly finished in the sense that it's, for example, it's not a portrait, right? So I would assume that if the hero wasn't as detailed, then not hero, but like the character was not as detailed, then it might have been might be a merchant that is going to be added in the future. However, as we can see, the whole silhouette of this character, my opinion is that this is actually like a draft for a hero. We have like 2 color schemes. Actually, which one do you prefer? Like, do you prefer this more yellowish style or like clean white?
I think I prefer the clean white style more on the right.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it fits the vibe to me, but also I like the bird more. I don't know if the bird's going to be like a important part of this character, but the earthy sort of tones, I don't know. They're both okay.
I mean, but that's why I prefer the yellowish hues on the left, as it gives more rustic vibe. And the white bird, like, we can compare it to like a dove, although this is sort of like an owl, I think. So I wouldn't particularly say that the themes of white dove and white owl are the same, but it gives the vibe of like this purity. So a center guy would be more of a, like, we can assume this is going to be like a druid character, so mostly about nature, and like I would maybe assume healing.
Yeah, it's typically kind of what you think of when you think of druids. I will say this character, this is super early art, and this is old information, like you said. So, we may get this guy one day, and he looks very different. So that's just something to keep out there. Like, even if we're right about this.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Because, I mean, we saw this art, like, I don't know, like a couple of years ago, maybe? I'm not sure exactly what video this is from, but yeah, it's probably evolved a lot.
I mean, the image itself was unearthed like 4 months to 5 months ago. So it's at least that old.
Yeah, at the very least. And I wanted to say something else I saw while researching for this guy through the Discord and everything, because I didn't think about this, but somebody said maybe he's like middle, the merchant, because she's some sort of centaur thing too, right? You can't really tell entirely, but they're probably, related or the same species or know each other, that sort of thing.
Right.
That's a big point for him existing, I think, as a hero.
That would make sense. Like, as we have established in like one of the first few episodes of the whole series, that when you make a character of the certain species, you rarely make it the only representative of that species. So yeah, I agree. Mythil is one of those center-looking aliens. So this might be part of the group, like this center guy.
Yeah. Something else me and you mentioned, like off camera about this before, was that in the background of this picture on the bottom left, there's the beehive, which back then when we initially saw this, we didn't know what the deal with that was. But now we know that's a Pygmalion item. And you've kind of brought up, and we've kind of talked about maybe there's cross hero items, like maybe this druid character Bees is also in their pool, the same as, Pygmalion. Or potentially the Venomander is another one that's a Mac item, but it looks super, like if that was this druid's item, you wouldn't question it even a little bit, right? So, and it saves work for tempo too, to have items that can, be in two different hero pools. But
right, so this is a classic move in card games, that to make more exciting combos, you allow 2 or more archetypes the access to a particular card. In this case, a centaur or like a druid natural based character would it would be very obvious that that character would be connected to friends and to like natural stuff. Like for example, we have Money Tree in Pygmalion's card pool. So a similar style card could very well be in this hero's card pool. I was thinking about various items that could be in his pool, like what could he have access to. And of course, we already can see like there's this bird. You mentioned, you called it a finch. I mean, I wouldn't know. I'm not proficient in names of various animals, like in that specific names of animals in English. But I believe you. But there's also like a dragonfly there. So animal-based cards very much on brand with this character. But also like plants already fairly common is maybe too strong of a word, but like they are present in the game. So for example, succulents or this money tree that I have already brought up. So let's say a property for this guy could be a glade or a field. Why not?
Yeah. And that kind of leads me into something else I wanted to mention, which is Reynad has said at one point that they've had like a lot of ideas for heroes, but the things that they're really looking for are classes or like a hero that you can kind of easily come up with, because these heroes have to have a lot of items, 100 to start with, and then they're going to add card packs. So you need professions or identities that, really lend themselves to a ton of cards. And
yes,
you can tell from the heroes in the game, like, I mean, you could easily come up with 50 cards for like a pirate hero in like 10 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's really easy to think about what those heroes would have on them. So the druid, it's really easy, like kind of like you were saying, like you can think of all these items that would come to mind for this guy really quickly. So I think that's another point for him too. Like I think this dude's definitely a hero. Even if he doesn't end up being the 7th or some version of this guy, he may look very different by the time we see him in 45 years. But
yeah, that seems like a appropriate time to release another hero, right? But yeah, a druid, as we have already established, is connected to nature, and nature is very broad of a theme, right? And your heroes need themes. So we have Vanessa with pirate theme, we have Pygmalion with this merchant theme, and Julie has robotic theme, right? So this guy would have nature theme, like as we have said, animals, plants, maybe even some sort of weather manipulation. So let's say a storm or a rain cloud, maybe that could be an item.
ooh, yeah, I can't think of any like unique.
Reynat is listening to us and like he's like, write that down.
I can't think of any like unique mechanic he would have just off the top of my head, because I was kind of thinking about it yesterday, like what would, because a lot of these people have sort of, like we know now Mac's going to have transform and Jules is going to probably have joy, which we don't really know what it does, but so I don't know what this guy's special thing would be.
I didn't think about that earlier, but if I had to give an answer right now, I would probably go for something like cultivation or maybe like that, as he's all, I mean, from the looks of it, he's all about nature. So maybe like growing a plant or an animal, like caring for them to get them, like to enhance them in some way, could be a flavorful way to do it. But on the other hand, like we have established that you want to sell your items to get better items. So if you were to focus on one thing, then it would be sort of like counter to that idea. It would be in the opposition. But at the same time, like maybe let's say you find a small item that is called an acorn, and after one day it grows into a tree, for example. So instead of being small, then it becomes large or medium, whatever. Like that could be fun.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. We have a lot of items that like upgrade or something, or they do something every day, but they don't like change, really.
I don't know. I just came up with this on the spot, so I cannot give too many details about that.
So in 2035, whenever this hero is revealed, we'll see if we're right about the.
I mean, yeah, I've been channeling Nostradamus for quite some time now, so you might as well put bets on this.
I guess we should probably talk about other potential seventh heroes. I don't know if you have another thought like of somebody or something else that could be the seventh hero. Do you?
I mean, if we were to look at the trailer, so that's the main like source of new characters from this world. There's this like teleporting wolf that we can see for a second. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. So I wanna preface this with like I think the centaur guy is like the best bet for the hero, but his name is Farai, I think is it what it is, and he was apparently shown off because the first thought whenever I saw him in the trailer was, well, he keeps teleporting and dropping off these packages, and I think Jules is serving him food at the beginning too.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not him precisely, but at least another wolf.
So definitely prominent in the trailer, considering we don't really know, who he is or exactly what he does. But apparently, back in the past, he was shown off for a very brief clip in one of the old Bazaar videos that they used to do when they did like weekly or bi-weekly updates or whatever, that he was an event, I guess, sort of, and he would drop off a package to you and sort of ask for that package back later in the run. So I assume he's still an event, and on HowBazaar, the best website of all time, he has in the game data, apparently there's a item called bulky package that said Farai will return for this. So that idea seems to have carried over, at least enough to have that item be in the game data. So I assume he's still an event that does this sort of thing, but he must be a pretty like prominent event if they show him around the trailer multiple times, because nobody else is really getting that sort of attention that isn't like a hero.
There's something to it. But when you said about this package deal, I was thinking to myself, like, if you were to be able to teleport, being a courier seems like a nice like profession to go along with it.
Yeah, lots of money to be made, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, I just wanted to make a joke that if Amazon ever invents teleportation, like Bezos is going to own the planet. Like he's already pretty wealthy, but at that point he's going to own the planet.
Do you think with Farai being a courier, or like delivering all these packages and stuff, do you think that could constitute a full 100+ item set? I kind of think not, if I'm going to be honest. No. It's really hard to come up with 100 items.
Yeah, a courier is a too narrow of a topic. It's not a broad enough theme to warrant whole like personality, let's call it, because it's not only about making 100 unique items, but there are also like some archetypes that need to be put into those 100 items, and there's like some need of cohesive vision in those archetypes. So I mean, how many package types could you make, or like some tools for like packaging? Like duct tape already exists and it's a dually item, so I mean that's sort of another idea for a dual hero item. But at the same time, is it exciting to be playing a courier? Not sure. I mean, Fallout New Vegas is all about the courier, but like at the same time, it's not. It's a different type of game.
Yeah, I think if they went with Farai being a hero, I think that you'd have to really lean into the like sci-fi aspect of it, with the portals and like have all these other, like there'd have to be a lot more to it, I'm pretty sure we'll see him be an encounter probably in
Most
the next
likely,
few
yeah.
months.
But like a small thing, I wanted to maybe discuss with you, because the bazaar seems like a low magic to even no magic system, like the environment. Like I'm not sure. Besides, like the fates, like I think only fates are like magical entities in this world. But like a teleporting courier is. Do you think it leans more into like the supernatural and superpowers, or actual magic?
I don't know. It might be more sci-fi. Like, I guess,
So a device allows him to teleport.
yeah, it's like Rick and Morty style portals or something potentially. I don't know because this game it's a little hard to tell because like you said, it's sort of low magic at least right now, but then there's sort of elements that you're like are very fantastical. So it's not always super clear where they're planning to go with that, I guess. But I would probably assume it's more like technologically based magic type
Okay,
thing.
probably makes sense. But I think we can like wrap back around to Druid Hero just to end things nicely, I suppose. I also wanted to touch upon his exterior, and we already like talked about the color scheme, and we already mentioned the species. But like usually centaurs part humans, part horses. But this guy is more of a doe or a buck, you know?
Yeah.
As also his ears sort of like animal ears, as in with the emphasis on the doe ears. So he's more of a fawn, I would say, like part fawn, part doe. So that's like new imagining of a centaur, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Middle. I don't have a picture of Middle up in front of my face right here, but I'm pretty sure she
Mm.
has the exact same ears, like that.
I
Very,
have a picture of metal right somewhere right here, somewhere around my hard drive.
but yeah, it's a cool concept design that he's not like half horse; he's half, some sort of deer or something. And I really like
Pretty-
the outfit too. He's got on it's like overalls, and I don't know, it's just interesting.
I mean, metal looks more like a sphinx lady, sort of, because she has like a long tail, cat-like tail, and I'm not sure if that's hair or horns, but it could be both or neither. And her ears are strangely like conical and facing downwards. So I'm not sure if they like center hero and Mythel are actually of the same species. Like both have 4 legs and are part humans or like part humanoids, but at this point I wouldn't say that they are of the same species.
There's also the chance that whatever species he is morphed into that design, since that picture's older. But yeah, there's
Mm.
definitely some noticeable differences, and it could be like gender related too. But it's similar enough. I don't know.
I mean, similarities end with a sort of humanoid creature being fused with a 4-legged creature. And I think that's it. As we cannot see the lower part of Mittel's body, we cannot say for sure. But I think that she wouldn't have hooves, because I don't know, but I wouldn't suspect her of having hooves.
Okay. Well, guess we'll find out eventually if
But
they're the same thing.
also, like this sort of confirms our suspicions that this center guy is probably going to be a hero. As I said, if he was meant to be a merchant, probably they wouldn't bother with drawing his lower part.
Yeah, I agree. So, and I think some version of this is going to come to the game at some point. Some sort of hero that's based on this, it can evolve a lot and everything. But
I mean, he could be repurposed into an encounter.
yeah,
That's no problem. But with how much work was put into making like a cohesive color palette between him and some other artworks, like we can see in the background. Also, in this right lower corner, it looks like a part of a ocarina, I think.
yeah,
It might be.
I sort of thought that too. So yeah, maybe he's like has some musical aspects to him.
Could be.
But
Nice.
yeah, so there's gonna be a seventh hero one day, we hope, and it's probably the Centaur guy. But let us know, and I guess in the comments below what you think the seventh hero should be or could be.
Yeah.
And
And also, like, thanks to Thumper, Up_Bazaar for reminding us that we needed to do this episode.
Yeah, big shout out to Thumper.
You know where the comments are. You can put your ideas for the seventh hero. Who should it be? Who could it be? We'll read them all. We have a lot of free time.
And not a lot of comments.
I guess that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you, actually, on Monday, as always. Bye!
See ya.